Well, we are back. Legal Help Live. Ralph here, Steve there. Call us at 1-800-405-4222. That's a toll-free number. And as Steve said at the very beginning of the broadcast, everybody who calls gets on the air, asks a legal question, gets a legal answer, also gets a gift certificate for dinner or lunch for two at a restaurant of our choosing.
If you have a question about an animal or a dog that's biting, or a loud dog that's barking, what can you do about it? If you've got a question about immigration status, if you've got a question about whether you get a driver's license in California, if you've got a question about how can they take their driver's license away from you, if you've got a question whether or not all these pot shops that are all over Southern California are legal or not, if you have a question on whether or not you can drive your car with a quantity of marijuana in the car, not smoking on it, whether that's legal or not legal. If you have a question about the marijuana permits that they give out or don't give out, you want to talk about that. If you got a marijuana shop next to you and you're a neighborhood association, what, if anything, you can do about it?
What if you want a marijuana shop next to you, but you don't have one? Where do you go to sign up to get one established for
If you want Chunky Monkey, call Ralph Saltzman at 1-800-405-4222.
And ask that legal question. Before we went into the break, I promised that we would discuss what the Los Angeles City Council just did. Today, they just did this. The Los Angeles, this is from the LA Times, you'll see it in tomorrow's paper. The Los Angeles City Council voted today to uphold a policy that makes it illegal to park at spaces with broken meters. Now, that's really important because traditionally, up until fairly recently, everybody thought, and it was the law, that if you found a broken meter, you had just found the goose that lays the golden eggs. You found a parking meter, you could just park there.
Well, why can't you park there?
Because the city ordinance that the city council just reestablished says that you cannot park at a broken meter.
So you pull into the meter.
Right, it's broken.
Oh, how do you know that?
Well, you try to put a coin in there and you lose your 25 cents.
You go around the block, it's Christmas time.
Yes.
It's Hanukkah time.
Right.
It's a holiday. You find a space.
Correct.
You've looked for now 40 minutes. You find the space. You pull into the space.
You found one in 40 minutes?
You put the quarter or the credit card in it.
Yeah, it's even worse with the credit
and
card.
it sucks your credit card in, okay?
Well, if it keeps the credit card, then you really got a problem. If it takes the quarter, you've lost a quarter.
So if the city's not repairing the meters,
yes,
and the parking space is there, why should a person get a ticket?
Because
and why should they be able to make it a quote a ticket crime?
The reason that you get a parking ticket is because the city council just voted to do that.
Well, but it's just revenue.
You bet it is. Yeah. But the philosophy behind it is that's subject to question, and apparently just sailed through the city council without much objection. You know, there's technology now in some cities, and I think either Santa Monica is doing it now or they're going to do it, where if you pull away from the parking space, you've put your money in, you've put in 3 hours, and you've spent an hour and a half there, and you pull away from the parking space, there's technology now where the parking meter goes down to 0 time as soon as the car withdraws from the parking space. That's not the ordinance in the city of Los Angeles. And Councilman, going back to the LA Times now, Councilman Tom LaBonge says he likes the parking meters that automatically alert transportation officials of operational problems. So it could only take a couple of hours before it's fixed. Hold on. And then, but he cautioned against further technological advances that could erase time left on a meter when a car pulls away. That, he said, would be going too far. And then this is a quote. Councilman LaBonge said, "I think there is a certain joy in life in the city of Los Angeles. When you pull up to a parking meter, there is a little bit of time left on it. I think the city needs that joy."
Yeah, well,
I think Santa Monica is not going to do that. I think they're doing the opposite.
To me, it's an absolute... first of all, I don't know why we pay for parking spaces anyway. I mean, it's public parking. It's off-street parking. It's a gimmick. They're only using it to raise money. There's no public interest about this at all.
No.
They're running parking lots, and all they want's the money. And what do we get in return for it?
A space.
Yeah, well...
A parking space.
I think if they don't fix the meter, just like when they didn't fix the red light cameras for 12 to 18 months.
Yes.
We got holes in the streets, we got potholes, etc. I don't think we can be taxing us every cent. There is no break given to the
That's
ordinary
true.
people.
Well, let me ask you this. You are now a Court of Appeal judge. I've just anointed you. And you get the case where there's been a challenge made by a Los Angeles city or Santa Monica city, local jurisdiction.
Any governmental city.
Any local government. You're a motorist in that city. You've parked, and the parking meter's broken. You put your quarter in. You didn't even pay attention to what happened next. Or you put your credit card in. You didn't even pay attention to what happened next. You walked away. Turns out it was broken, and you get a ticket.
Well, you probably never get to the court.
You're a Court of Appeal judge.
You probably
now.
never get the ticket because these tickets are adjudicated not by real judges in 99%
Well,
of
let
the
me
instances.
carry the scenario forward. There's whatever system there is within whatever jurisdiction we're talking about. They find you guilty. You have to pay the fine. You take that to the next level.
The next level and the
Affirm.
last level is the Superior Court.
Okay, so you're a Superior Court judge.
I will not.
What do you do?
I will not comment on what I would
Because
do.
you haven't gotten the case yet.
I will not comment on that. But a very interesting situation. I think we really have to look at, we are trying, because of poor budgetary management, we are taxing people out of existence. We don't call them taxes anymore. These are fees for use.
These are fees, that's
if
right.
you're trying to build something on your house,
Yes.
or you need a little addition, it's the planning fee. It's the conditional use permit fee.
Let me ask you that. Oh, that's thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of
It could be
dollars. in some
$20,000 in LA for
Yeah, just for fees.
a non-refundable fee.
Exactly. They always say non-refundable because they don't give it back if you don't get your permit. Let me ask you this. You get fined $10 for violating a traffic law. You go to court and the judge says, that'll be $10. How much do you really pay?
About 5 times that amount.
So you don't pay $10, you pay $60?
Yeah.
You don't pay $100, you pay $600?
Yeah, and that's,
rough justice?
That's not the courts. The fines are set by the courts, but the multiple things for all the other fees are set by the legislature and signed by the governor.
Correct.
So, yeah, it's a whole mystery. If you get sentenced and get community service, there's then a fee on top of that to do community service.
How about this?
If you get a case dismissed because you got something fixed, like a registration or et cetera,
Yeah.
there's a $25 fee on that.
How about if you're cited for not having insurance when you really have insurance, and then you bring that the insurance that you always had to the judge and say, "Look, Judge, I always had this insurance."
Yeah, but the
what
site's
does the
not
judge
having
do,
it
and
in
then what
possession
happens?
of the time.
Well, that I understand that, but what does
So
the
the
judge
case
do?
is dismissed, and then there's a $25
fee.
fee on top of that.
Another caller.
All right.
Okay.
Sure, let's
Oh,
talk to you.
we've got a long distance call from Gary. Gary, where are you?
Yes, sir. I'm in New York, sir.
You're in New York
Oh, yeah.
now?
What-
I was in New York this time yesterday.
What part of New York? What part of New York?
I'm from the Bronx, sir.
Okay, how can we help you?
Yes, sir. I've been having a couple of problems with my tenants and my landlord. Apparently, I've been making complaints since May where, I've been having disturbances with them. They've been making loud noises, jumping around, running around throughout the house constantly from the early morning hours to late at night. I spoke with my management in regards to these problems. They try not to take no heed to listening to me. They hang up the phones. I even went as far as trying to contact my assembly people, state senator, and I even went to the Bronx Borough President's office. So at this time, I haven't had no successful
Why don't you go?
notices from anybody, and I just don't know what to do. I
Well,
need to take
here's
more
what-
initial steps, so this is the reason why I'm calling.
So how many unit building is it?
It's a 60 flight building. We have more than 300 apartments.
All right. So don't you this is the kind of case you got a huge apartment. You're the landlord, or are you the tenant?
Well, I am the tenant.
Okay. So you're a tenant in a big apartment building. Have you gone and seen your elected official?
Yes, I have.
And he-
I went to see my assemblyman, Eric Stevenson. I spoke with him. I thought he was going to be able to do something about it. I let him know that I have health issues. And
Okay.
that, I need my rest and stuff like that of that nature. He was actually waiting for a notice from my landlord because he had spoke with the property manager in regards to they was going to see what they're going to do with the tenants in the building, but
Okay,
no
so
avail,
there-
nothing was done. So they had to actually close out my case, and they left me stranded, and I just don't know what to do from there.
There are
This is an ongoing problem.
there are landlord groups and there are tenant groups. It's apparent to me
Right.
that you're savvy on the web. Get on the web and find a tenants' rights association or a tenants'
Okay.
rights attorney close to you. There's also
Okay.
legal aid in your area there, and go down there and get some advice. When you do the alphabet calling the government, unless you're lucky or you know somebody or you're a big political contributor, it's pretty tough to get service. So what I would do is find a tenants' rights lawyer, go find out what can be done in New York, and make
Okay.
them make it quiet, because you're paying rent, you're entitled to a good night's sleep, and you tell them that Steve Solomon wants it solved.
Right.
And call us back.
Okay.
Call us back from New York in a few weeks and let us know what happened. Okay? And you've got
Okay, I definitely will.
and you got a lunch or dinner free for us here in Southern California. You call that 800 number tomorrow morning, and we'll mail it
Okay.
out to you. And you have a happy holiday. And
now you have, Gerry, now you have a reason to come to Southern California, not just to work.
Oh, okay.
Not-
Thank you very much for listening.
All right,
Thank you.
Gerry, thank you
Bye-bye.
very much as well. We're going to take a break in about 10 or 15 seconds, and then we'll be coming back. And when we come back, you'll be calling us at 1-800-405-4222. You'll be asking that legal question, you'll be getting a legal answer, and you'll be getting a gift certificate for dinner or lunch for two at a restaurant of Steve's and my choosing.
And all you dog lovers, get ready, get on the air, because we're going to start talking about euthanasia and what's happening in Southern California about all the animals this time of year and what we can do about it. So get ready to call us in on it, and we're going to go to break right now.
Stay tuned for more Legal Help Live.